Oh, it's 1 o'clock already. Oh, thank you,
It's
Abby.
much bigger,
Yeah.
way bigger.
NCTV, are we ready?
NCTV is ready?
You are ready.
No,
Oh, we're ready. Okay. Well, we have a quorum, so I'll get it started. And then I'm going to worry about quorums on the old business items as they come up. But all right, here we go. I'm starting the meeting. Good afternoon, everyone. For the record, this is Ray Pohl, Chairman of the Nantucket Historic District Commission. Let me confirm that the following board members are present. Members, when I call your names, please respond in the affirmative. Val Oliver.
Aye.
Thank you. Diane Coombs. She's probably muted. I'll go to Abby.
Aye,
Abby.
aye, aye.
Oh, there's Diane. Thank you, Diane. Abby Camp.
Aye.
Okay, and myself, for the record, Ray Pohl. I think that's it for now, right? Looks like it.
yes.
Yeah, okay. So staff, when I call your names, could you also please respond in the affirmative? Kathy Flynn.
Present.
By Holly Backus.
Present.
Very good. Great. Thank you, folks. Okay, this open meeting of the Nantucket Historic District Commission is being conducted remotely, consistent with Governor Baker's executive order of March 12, 2020. That order, posted with agenda materials for this meeting, allows public bodies to convene remotely so long as public access to deliberations is reasonably provided. This meeting is convening via Zoom with video and audio recording, and we are being broadcast via YouTube on the town's YouTube channel. With no member of the public having asked to speak at this time, this particular meeting will not feature public comment. Materials provided to members of the meeting or provided during the meeting are, unless otherwise noted, available on the town's website. During this meeting, I'll introduce the agenda topics and their speakers, and please remember to mute your Zoom audio until your name is called. And please direct comments and questions through the chair to avoid crosstalk and make taking of minutes a little easier. Finally, votes taken at today's meeting will be done via roll call. I suppose the first thing that we have on the agenda is to approve today's agenda. May I have a motion?
So move.
Thank you, Diane. On that motion, Val Oliver.
Aye.
Abby Camp.
Aye.
Diane Coombs.
Aye.
Thank you, and I am in favor, so that motion carries. Any public comment at this time that we should know about? Kathy, Holly?
No,
Holly?
Mr. Chair.
No.
Yes.
Go ahead, Abby.
Those resumes we're supposed to turn in, is there a deadline for that? Did I miss it?
No, if you can get it to me as soon as possible, that would be most appreciated. I've only received a couple right now. So thank you for asking that. I appreciate it.
Okay.
Okay, I'll finish it off today.
Okay. And my public comment for the day is that if, for those of you that didn't hear, I'm going to be checking two. So if I'm on your board, critical to the board, and it's looking like it's getting close to 2, you may want to just pull the plug and will be heard, I believe, next Tuesday. Okay, so we have a consent agenda of 1. May I have a motion on that one?
Move to consent to agree. I make a motion to approve.
Okay, thanks. On that motion, Abby.
Sorry, I don't know what it is.
It's a single consent item on 11 Mill Lane. It's a renewal of a certificate. I think it must have just lapsed, right?
Oh, okay.
Okay, so you're in?
In, yes.
Okay, Val.
Aye.
Thank you. Diane.
Aye.
Thank you, and I'm in favor. Motion carries. First item under old business now is 48 Orange Street, Pohl, Coombs, Camp, Oliver. You have 4 out of 5 of your members. Tori, are you on?
I am. I'm just switching from my phone to my laptop, but I'm here.
Okay, great. So you're comfortable moving forward without Stephen right now?
Yeah, I think we're in good shape.
Okay, fine. All right. 48 Orange. Let's see what we got.
Okay, so I've submitted a bunch of photos for reference for you guys. Both visible from the public way of Flora Street and
Oh, yeah.
that's Cash's Court. If you want to go up and look at that for a second, that's the travel way that goes to the back of the property.
This was this sort of flat metal roof, right?
Yep, and I believe we've accomplished everything that you guys requested and that HSAB requested. And HSAB on Monday took away a favorable recommendation.
Hopefully.
Yeah,
they
hold
didn't
on, let
take
me
away
turn off
from-
my phone. Yeah,
They gave you a favorable recommendation, right? Tori?
Mr. Chair,
Yeah.
yes. HDC, or the Historic Structures Advisory Board, HSAB was okay with the proposed changes that have been provided.
Very good. All right. Can we just take a look at the elevations? The actual drawing elevations, I guess.
They are not in this PDF. It
Oh.
must have been held for review, Tori. I don't. look
Oh,
at
I
it.
thought.
No,
I
there's,
thought-
Oh, sorry, my apologies, sorry.
yeah, there were some revisions to like the.
Yeah, my
tab-
apologies.
roof.
Yeah,
Here we
okay.
go.
Yep.
Skipped right over it.
Okay, so the porch beam is widened. That's good. Anything else, Tori? Tori, I think you're muted.
She is.
Okay, you need to unmute.
sorry, I didn't realize that. I was on my phone and then I switched to my laptop. So the north elevation, if you can go up, you can see the pitch that has been created. You have to kind of zoom in a little bit. It's hard to
We
see.
see it. We see it.
Okay.
Yep.
And we've tapered the posts and we have brought it down, like you said, and then the beam goes across like you
Right.
suggested.
Okay. And HSAB did a favorable. Okay, comments from the board.
I'm good with this, Mr. Chair. She's
Okay, thank
answered
you.
our concerns.
Yeah, thank you. Diane, Abby, any comments? Okay, then I think somebody can move for approval on this one.
Motion to approve.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so Val and Abby have both motioned to approve simultaneously. On Val, Abby's motion. No, okay, it's Val. On Val's motion, Abby.
Aye.
Thank you, Diane.
Aye.
Thank you, Diane. Val,
Aye.
and I'm in favor. Motion carries. Thank you, Tori. Thanks for
Thank
working.
you.
with us. Okay, next, 100 Low Beach Road.
Mr. Chair, just so you know, Stephen, I believe, just came into the room.
Oh, very good. Oh, Stephen, are you there?
I'm
I'm
here.
here too. Where am I, Luke?
Oh, okay, good. So we have, for the record,
Huh?
people have just joined the fun.
Hey,
Uh,
Luke? Oh,
Oh, yes.
Okay, so back to item number 2 here. Board on this, myself, Abby, Diane, Val, and Stephen. Okay, we have somebody representing this?
Hello, Bernice Weller here.
Hi.
Bernice Weller Landscapes.
Okay, very good. Where are we?
Perfect. We'll let's start with we can just start with the plan if we could, which I believe is up at the top of this submission. Oh, there you go. Okay, perfect. Great. So we've taken a look at the plan to address, to try to answer some of your concerns from the last meeting, which was to naturalize the landscape piece. So what you're looking at here is there's a rectangle in the center of the plan there that is the previous approved pool location. So this plan is seeking to slide the pool over slightly and just a pinch back towards Low Beach Road so that we can clear some conservation jurisdiction lines that we need to clear. And that places the pool roughly 46.5 feet from the edge of Low Beach Road at its closest point. You'll see that we're showing a driveway egress into the to access the pool house. There's an apron that we're proposing that would match an adjacent apron detailing that exists on Low Beach Road. We've softened some of the lines of the gravel edging to kind of naturalize it a bit, and are showing the proposed landscape that would be revegetated after the construction clearing, which would include native plants like cedars, switchgrass, sweet babe magnolia, and myrica, so that we're really targeting, if you see at the bottom of the, there's an image of the existing roadway condition off of Low Beach Road, the vegetated buffer that exists. We're basically...
Hang on one second. Can we scroll down to that image?
Thank you. So number 5 is showing an existed vegetated buffer along Low Beach Road, which is what we are intending to recreate once the construction pulls out of the site. You'll see the example of the driveway material there, the gravel with a steel edge. There's number 4 has the cobble apron shown, which is a picture of it's an adjacent neighbor down the road. Number 5 will show you the existing site clearing. This is roughly the air, I'm sorry, that should be 6. There's 2 5s. So the second 5 is showing you the site clearing area. So this is the area where the pool is to be placed, that is cleared on site now. It's a partial clearing. And so you can see how there's native vegetation on the roadside and also on the water side. And some of the vegetation on the water side, the majority of the vegetation on the water side, we will not be allowed to impact as part of this construction. We're restricted because of conservation jurisdiction in that area. So if we go back up to the plan, you'll see that on the water side of the proposal, we're proposing again another natural vegetated area that is happening along the front of the pool area there, which does, then you can see the similar mix of plants that's happening in the front. We did suggest a very naturalized gray granite that we feel like would just blend into the landscape, and then have shown a bit more naturalized edging than you had seen before, so that we can kind of soften some of the edges and speak to some of the natural character that you were referencing before. Some of the bigger monolithic stoop pieces we've adjusted to be wood stoops. So you see in the rear there's a it's a brown stoop that's coming. So those are those have been changed from previously proposed stone stoops to deck stoops in those 2 pieces. And then we still do have some stone stoops, which would be the same gray granite happening at the front door and at the side doors. Those are much smaller pieces of granite, so they have a more modest expression into the landscape. We have shown a section, if we can scroll down, there's a section that will speak more to the character that we're intending to develop for the pool area itself. So we are using, so you'll see, let's start to the right where you see the car. Low Beach Road is roughly at elevation 8.5. And then you're going to go up to roughly elevation 10 for the pool terrace itself. And we are using a privet hedge, which the property has some existing privet hedges in between the natural border to Low Beach and the pool area to kind of reinforce the screening in that area, and also just to create a natural delineation between the more structured pool area and the natural landscape. So that's what you're seeing here is the native buffer along the roadway that we'd be revegetating. And then you're seeing on the water side that vegetated landscape buffer that's happening there with the pool situated in the center. So with that, I'll open it up to questions and comments.
A few other things we need to take care of.
Okay.
So Kathy, I believe that a few letters came in on this from abutters.
The letters, Mr. Chair, were in regards to the outbuilding.
Oh,
Pretty
okay.
sure.
All right.
I mean, we can read them into the record.
No, the one thing that I'm not sure that anyone who wrote letters about the pool would understand is there's already a pool approved for this site. It's just moving. Okay, but is there anyone in the queue right now that wants to speak on this project? Just because I know that there have been some issues, and if so, we're now talking about the pool, not about the pool house. And if there's no one that wants to speak, I will turn it over. Oh, actually, do we have Sconset advisory on this one? Holly?
It did not fall into the realm of their review.
Oh, that's right,
Yeah.
outside. Okay.
Outside of there.
Okay, fair enough. So if no one from the public wants to
I'll
speak, yeah, that would be great, Diane. Thank you.
I think there has been a lot of work done on the vegetation buffers around it. I am pleased to see it's much more sort of casual than the rectangulars that it was earlier. I appreciate that. I think it looks a lot better. I was wondering, which escapes my mind, is Beach Road, Low Beach Road paved there, or is it
No,
dirt?
dirt,
It's paved.
definitely dirt.
Okay, I couldn't remember what it was, but I think that if the planting is done the way they have suggested, it's been done with care and consideration that I had last time about not being quite so geometric. Thank you.
Thank you, Diane. Abby, you ready?
Sure. Can we go back to the plan?
Sure.
The first plan we saw. Thank you. I'm still concerned on the left-hand side that there's the monolithic stones are too, there's too much area of it, and it extends too far into the dune area towards the ocean on that left side. If that could be decreased, I'd appreciate that. The pool itself appears quite long, and I wonder if we could get a couple of feet taken out of that. So those are my main concerns. The hard edge of that, sitting in that environment, sort of grinds on me. It just seems so hard.
You're talking about down at the southern piece.
Yes.
Closest to the wetland edge or to
Yes.
the
Yes.
Right.
I'd
Okay.
like to see that reduced. Thank you.
All right. Thanks, Abby. Stephen, you ready?
Yeah, sure. Thanks, Mr. Chair. Appreciate the changes, comments that have been made already. I agree with. I want to emphasize the rectilinear form and the tight lines that Abby just mentioned with the patio to the extent that it can be viewed. And also, I think the cobbles in the drawing are labeled, we traditionally would refer to those as Belgian block. I don't think they're appropriate in that location. I think it would be more appropriate for those to be the traditional Main Street cobble, which is a rounded stone. And other than that, I think it will be sufficiently screened. And if it's going to look like it does in the images, including the deer and the seagulls.
It'll definitely have the deer, right?
It'll fit right in.
Mhm. Oh, thanks, Stephen. Val?
Yeah, I do appreciate the changes that have been made, but I agree with the comment about it's all the hardscaping. It's sort of a disconnect for me that you would have a house on a dune and have all of that hard surface and privet hedge, which totally is a disconnect. But it's an improvement. I still think you can make more changes because it really doesn't partner with the land on this site. I don't feel it's much too formal. And, you know, this is the only house on that side of Low Beach Road and is really fully exposed to the beach end of things. So I think less is more.
Okay, thanks, Val. So I agree in concept with this. Yes, somebody want to say something?
It's Holly, Mr. Chair.
Oh,
I did want to let you know the comment that we received, which was forwarded to the commission, was actually from the Sconset Trust. They are in a butter, and it was regarding both this application and the next application.
Okay, so you want to read the part that's that for the pool?
Yes, sir. So comments for the HDC regarding the application for a pool and pool house on Low Beach Road in Sconset. As president of the Sconset Trust and a butter to this property, I'm compelled to comment on this application. The mission of the trust includes conserving and protecting land, open land in Sconset. One of our properties, parcel number 92.22 on the GIS map, starts at the end of Low Beach Road, going around the pond over to Tom Nevers and down to the beach. We acquired this property in a transfer from the town of Nantucket. We are very excited to add this beautiful unaltered land to our portfolio of underdeveloped open spaces for the enjoyment of the public. As stewards of the land, we will keep it open and maintained for walking paths. This area is composed of sand dunes and wetlands. Perhaps technically the proposed pool house and pool area are within the Concom requirement for footage of the resource area. However, the amount of machinery needed to construct and maintain this property will destroy much of the surrounding resource area than is indicated by the finished plans. The large scale of the existing two houses and the addition of a large pool house indicates an escalation of their use of this property, which will further compromise the entire area. The trust is dedicated to protecting this incredibly beautiful landscape for the future. I believe the construction and ongoing maintenance of this property will adversely affect the ability of all islanders to enjoy this open space. Thank you for considering these comments in your decision process. Clement Dirks. Thank you.
Okay. I didn't actually see any reference to the pool, did I? Okay. Thank you, Holly. And we do have the application for the outbuilding coming up next. But so my opinion is this hard edge along the southern portion, I totally agree with in concept. It sort of goes against the naturalized landscape there. I do believe that it's not going to be visible. I think that if we looked at a locus of this, the property extends down the dune so that you're really not going to be able to see this pool or anything like, or certainly none of the hardscape at all. But having said that, it sounds like that's a concern among a majority of the board members. So I'm going to throw it back to Bernice to maybe offer up some concessions in that thing. The other thing that I'll say is that I agree with Stephen on the Belgian block versus cobble thing. Belgian block, often incorrectly called cobble, sort of a hard formal material, and I agree with him that it should be out on a dirt road like that. It should actually be like Main Street cobbles as the apron. But that's all I have to say. So now, Bernice, is there anything, you heard the comments and clearly there's more than one member doesn't like that sort of hard edge that you have going. Oh, and I would say the extent of the terracing there, the amount of it Is there anything that can be done there? Because I'd certainly love to move past this if we can.
Yes, I think it seems realistic that the edge of the paving that is on the water side could be eliminated up to the edge of the building, and then we could just allow the stoop to come down onto grass. So expands the grass area
Does everybody understand what she's proposing?
Yes.
You know,
No.
that's a pretty substantial reduction in the amount of hard surface. It's going
Is that-
all the way back to the building.
Is that everything below the blue line?
Everything below, you see the brown rectangle? The brown rectangle, that's the porch.
Yeah,
The arrow is almost there. Go a little bit, no, go to the right. Go to the right. Stop. No, go to the left. There's a brown rectangle, a vertical rectangle.
yeah, it says stone terrace. Right
Well,
before.
yeah, and then it points to this brown rectangle that's the end of the building. The building is
Right.
white. And so
Yeah.
she's talking about removing everything to the south of the building.
Yeah,
I think that would, eliminate a lot of casual visibility and cut the hardscaping.
Yes.
To only have it to the right of the building and towards the pool. I think that would be, I mean, why it's here at all, I don't even know, but because we're dealing with it, I think that's a better design.
Well, okay, so I think that might fly. And if somebody makes a motion, could we change well, you know, it's funny, it's called out as cobble, but I think the picture might show Belgian block. You know what we're talking about, right, Bernice?
Yes,
Yeah.
I know what you're talking about. I'm wondering, Mr. Chair, if we would, how the board would feel about eliminating that element entirely. If not the Belgian block, perhaps we just consider a more casual relationship where the gravel and the dirt road could meet.
I think that's a much more realistic setting for the apron just to be natural.
Yeah, I understand. I hear your point on the rounded stones. I feel like it might just be too much for that.
Okay.
What that particular element is really just trying to create a divide between the two different materials.
Right. So what you're going to do,
Can I ask a question?
That brings up a concern.
yeah, it's going to bleed out into the road.
Yeah, well, but also, I mean, one thing that didn't get hit on was the gray granite, which is a very smooth surface. It says it's got naturalized edges, and I understand we addressed it on the southern face. I'm not as concerned about the southern face. I think from a public perspective, it's not viewed. My concern is the edge that's visible from the street. And there's going to be you'll have small gravel, and then you'll have basically, it looks like a 1 foot by 3 foot piece of smooth face granite with, although it says natural edge, the image makes it look like a pencil edge. So it's this very hard rectilinear form. If you're looking at the site plan, right at the edge of the driveway where you're entering. So I just like to see those few pieces softened up. And other than that, I'd have no concerns.
Oh,
Okay.
okay.
Miss-
Thank you.
Could I,
Thank
could
you.
I
Diane.
ask a question about the road? On
Go
the
ahead.
road, it says the cobble apron, which will be Nantucket town to cobble. But it has been mentioned twice now that there is gravel and dirt. I was trying to make that difference when I asked the question, what part of that driveway is dirt and what part is gravel?
No. So Diane,
Yes,
the road is dirt and the driveway without the apron, which we'll get to in a second, the parking area is gravel.
right.
So-
So where is the dirt part?
The dirt is Low Beach Road.
Oh, I asked that and they said, you said it was paved.
No. It stops being paved up by the Navy base.
Yeah, that's
Or-
what I thought. So
that
that's
is.
why I asked the question.
Yeah, no,
One
it's
of us
definitely dirt,
misunderstood
heavily rutted dirt, I should say.
because we don't usually have a gravel and an apron and dirt because it digs out underneath it. That's why the cobble apron or the apron, whatever, is usually connected to a driveway and a paved road. So the cobble apron shouldn't be there.
Well, that's what she's suggesting. She's suggesting getting rid of the apron entirely, but then the issue, of course, and this is for Bernice to figure out, is if you just lay down gravel, it's going to bleed out into the road. You know, I mean, if nothing is keeping it from moving, every time a car drives by, it's going to just bleed out into the road and it's going to look terrible. So you're
You'd
going to
have
need
one
to
of
have,
those deer bridges that go across,
oh,
you know, those
well,
things that
yeah,
keep the deer
something
from coming in.
like that. Exactly. You know, some kind of edge. It has to have an edge. So Bernice, there it is.
So, Mr. Chair, I'm still concerned about the length of the pool and viewing that from Low Beach Road, even though there's a whole lot of vegetation going in. I still think it's pretty long. So, I mean, I'd like to move it along too, but I'd sort of like to see the changes if you don't mind.
Well, the pool is supposed to be invisible from a public way at the time of inspection and thereafter. So assuming that, taking 3 or 4 feet off the length of the pool is, you know, a detriment to the owner and no real, you know, benefit to the person who's not looking at it out at Low Beach Road. That's my thought. Anyway. Okay, so we have a few things on the table. Does somebody want to try and craft a motion to move this along?
You could have a motion to approve through staff
Yeah.
the reduction of the cobble apron on Low Beach Road,
Yes.
the reduction of the terracing on the south side of the property.
Yes.
Southeast.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Ocean is east.
East. Yeah, I'm sorry. I know that. Yes.
Well,
on
but in point of fact, sorry to get too granular about this. This is where the island curves. Sconset faces east, Tom Never faces south. And so
Right.
this is right at the curve. So that's really facing south.
Isn't, I said southeast because it goes around the corner of that
Okay, so
building.
check this
Well,
out.
I think she knows what we're talking about too.
Yeah. Yep.
And that the pool will be invisible forever and ever.
Will not be visible at time of inspection and thereafter in perpetuity.
Yes.
Okay, so that's a good motion. On that motion, let's see. Val.
I'm a no, Mr. Chair. I think it should be
Okay.
more naturalized.
Okay, Stephen.
I'm a no too, Mr. Chair. I think
Uh-oh.
that edge on the drive needs to be cleaned up, the patio, but I don't want to rehash or relitigate it, just a no.
Okay, and Abby.
I was hoping to be the first no.
Okay, so wow. Okay, I guess we're looking at revisions then. So could somebody motion for revisions?
Make revisions, make a motion to hold for revisions.
Okay, thanks. All right, so on that motion, Stephen.
Aye.
Val.
Aye.
Abby.
Aye.
Diane.
Aye.
And I'm in favor. Okay, motion carries. Sorry, Bernice. Okay, next up, 100 Below Beach Road outbuilding. I think Matt's on board for this. Same board. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. Oh, God, I got to leave in 20 minutes.
I can start wherever you're ready, Mr. Chair.
Hurry, please.
Okay, cool. So this is the revised pool house. We called it an outbuilding. We dropped the height. The overall height now is 21 feet, 8 inches, 21 feet, 10 inches on one side because the grade slopes a little bit. Starting on the south elevation, which actually, yeah, it's in the north elevation is probably the most relevant. some of the comments we got were to have the structure read as if it has some sort of presence on Low Beach Road. And so we added a front door with a small pent roof. And then also, Stephen, you had mentioned that roof plane to the left on the north elevation looked a little bit stark. And so we added a small transom dormer, which I thought looks good. We made some minor window changes. We actually increased the height of them again on the north elevation. So those are the probably most significant changes. I just want to we also added a street elevation, which I think is on A2.1, which is probably on that same sheet, Holly. I think if we just scroll to the bottom. And this was also something that the board had requested. Actually, sorry, it's at the very bottom of that sheet, the one just above. It's really small.
It's actually Kathy at the helm.
Oh, I'm sorry, Kathy. There you go. Oh, you see it on the bottom? There we go. Thanks. And so this was just to show the main house proposal. There is a studio adjacent to it, and then this structure, just to kind of show the existing grades and the distance between the structures. Again, we're not showing any vegetation or anything like that. So this is kind of a stark view, if you will. But the structure in question is 218 feet to the closest structure and roughly 255 feet from the main house. So again, I would just reiterate that this is at the end of the road, and I think it'll read as kind of a house that's kind of nestled into the landscape. As far as the some of the letters, this is approved by the Conservation Commission in terms of the building footprint, if you will, and the pool. I fully support the need to protect the wetlands, and this is completely compliant with that. They actually, as part of their approval, they regulate what you can and can't do. So we're not going anywhere near the wetlands, and all the access will be off of Low Beach Road. So this is pretty standard application. And with that, I look forward to the comments from the board. Mr. Chair, thank you.
Okay, thanks. Board members.
I'll go.
Yep.
Okay, so Matt, number one, I appreciate the changes. I think in particular, you flip-flopping the entryway to the north is very helpful, as is the addition of the pent roof and the dormer. We could, quibble over the exact relationship and width of that pent roof to the door, but I think it's successful. It makes this more charming for the area. It gets away from the really kind of minimalistic with contemporary take on forward light fenestration. It makes it just a little bit more traditional looking building, and I appreciate that. Also appreciate the streetscape view. I think that's very helpful. And I think the south is probably the least successful if your lens is, or is it the east? Yeah, if your lens is a contemporary take on traditional fenestration, those are probably not the best, but I think they're appropriate for the area, and I think the west elevation works well. So those are my comments. Thanks, Mr. Chair.
All right, thanks, Stephen. Val.
I still think collectively this is too much on this site. I know I sound like a broken record, but these outbuildings are killing us. And I would say, how does this project relate to what's around it? It can't, because what's around it is nature. There's nothing to compare it to on this side of the street. Does it look like some of the larger houses across the street? Sure. But those are, 200 feet back from the road. I would just say, I don't think it possesses the spirit of the area, and that the structure doesn't belong in this environment, and it diminishes, I think, the area as a whole, especially with a large pool next to it and a pergola going in the opposite direction, which makes everything even more elongated and larger. I think this is building with myself in mind, not Nantucket in mind.
I think I'll go.
Okay, thanks, Val. That was good.
Poetic.
Yes, very. So Diane, go ahead.
I think Val's absolutely right. I think it's, if you look at that site plan with all the buildings stretched on and everything up the old road to right back to the town, the building on this side is minimum, and this is, I don't, it looks like a whole village down there. Why is, I would just wonder why the second pool was a necessity. They have a pool. How
No, they
many
don't.
pools do we allow on one piece of land? Do we have an amount?
Can I answer that, Mr. Chair?
Yes, please.
Diane, there is no existing pool on the property. This is just one pool. There was a pool approved in this general location, and the previous application was just modifying that pool slightly. And there was also an outbuilding approved. It was very, very small though. So there's not two pools on this property.
We have got on number 2, it said Low Beach Road, relocate the pool. Number 3 is Low Beach Road outbuilding. And you say the pool is no longer there, even though it's still on the site plan?
No, and I'm sorry if this is confusing. So we're basically, there was a previous HDC approval prior to this owner buying the property. This is literally just a reapproval of the previous pool, but it's changed. So we have to come back to make sure that the approval is current. And Kathy, is it possible to show the drawings that we submitted to as a supplement?
Wait, which drawings?
We had just submitted some context, which
You mean photos?
this is the existing structure. And then we just wanted to show some of the properties. This is one of the letters that we received. Just want to kind of demonstrate that this area is pretty well developed and with a lot of outbuildings. And by comparison, I don't think we're significantly more than anybody else on that street. But
The difference is you're on the ocean side.
Right.
So Diane, you were in the middle of talking, right?
I wanted to see a site plan because the site plan I saw of this area showed a pool. at
Well,
this
yeah,
building.
there was an old pool and as Matt says, it's relocated. Yeah.
It's relocated where?
Well, the blue thing is the pool. That's the one we just
know.
reviewed.
So we're saying there's only one pool on this whole property.
Yes. But
Okay.
what we're actually reviewing right now is the pool house.
Yeah. So it's an odd place to have a pool house when your pool is back in the other property. I don't know. I think it's not properly located. I think Val is right in her feelings. And I think I certainly go along with them.
Mr. Chair.
Okay. What?
Did you want me to read into the record the letter
No, I
from?
want to hear from Abby. We're running out of time. I got to leave in like.
I'll be very brief. I wish I had a recording of Val. This is virginal dune. I mean, driving down Low Beach Road and looking to the left as you go down, it's,
Okay.
I don't want to see a house there.
All right. So you have objections to it. So we have to hold this for more revisions, right?
I don't even know if that's.
Okay. Okay.
Or
So
denial.
Matt, okay,
Carrie
Matt,
on this
that's
as
the
well?
best we're going to do for you right now is to hold for revisions. You got a lot of people that object to this, so I'm
Well,
sorry. So can
actually,
we have a, yes?
I'm sorry, but wasn't Carrie, I think Carrie Thornwell read back into it as well.
We have 5 people on this. You just heard from 4 of them and I'm the 5th.
Well, then I'm a little confused because I thought Carrie was on it a couple meetings ago.
Yeah, I don't know the answer to that. This says Pole, Coombs, Camp, Oliver, Welch. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You can't have 6 members.
I'm not looking to add a member, Mr. Chair.
You can't make a member come in and take somebody else's place.
Okay. All right. So listen, we have to have a motion to hold this for revisions. And also, Kathy, please investigate Matt's concern that the board is not correct on this.
Mr. Chair, it does say Thornwell Mullenden. Just
No, I read that, but that you can't have 6 people on a board.
Right.
There's
I've
5
had-
people.
I'll motion for
Ray
revisions.
Cole, 1, Diane Coombs, 2, Abby Camp, 3, Val Oliver, 4, Stephen Welch, 5. Okay?
That's it.
So you can't have Carrie as a 6th member.
Whether she's Mullen in or not.
It
Anyways,
doesn't
thank you.
matter.
We'll
Doesn't
figure it
matter.
out.
Right. Okay. So somebody make a motion for revision.
I made a motion for revisions.
Very good. Thank you, Abby. On the motion, Val,
Aye.
Stephen,
Aye.
Diane.
Aye.
Thank you, Abby.
Aye.
And I'm in favor. Okay, so now listen, the next one is me, but I'm gonna go. I have to go. So what I want to do is I want to quickly go down and hit number 5 because that only has a 3-person board. And if I leave, it won't be able to move forward. So if we can take care of that, I would appreciate it. And I'm sure.
Go, do it.
Okay, so I'm just going to hold mine. Lisa will show up later, hopefully. If she doesn't, don't hear it. Okay, so.
Mr. Chair, I can let you know what HSAB comments were on this as Kathy's
Please
bringing
do.
those up.
Thank you very much.
Remove second skylight and maybe first if not approved. At a minimum, a wood surround should be applied or replaced with wood. It's noted that there's 2 skylights on the same roof plane not allowed with building with Nantucket in mind. The rear shed addition only works on this historic building as a glassed-in porch. The windows should remain as edge-to-edge infills instead of triple windows set in a shingled wall. Keep windows on porch ends, east and west for porch feel. Keep existing porch roof slope, 2-pitch roof and raising plate change the character and are inappropriate. Go back to earlier HDC submission, integrate stair into deck to make less prominent. It's noted that this is a historic structure on our historic Main Street. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
All right, thank you, Holly. So, who's
Am I
representing?
on this, Ray?
What?
No.
Okay, thank you.
What?
I'm not on this.
You are.
Yeah.
It's you, Stephen, and myself. Abby, Stephen, Ray. Okay? Now, we have Luke on board. Luke, do you want to just review this for us, please?
Yeah. Yes, thank you. So yeah, it has been a long time. COVID intercepted our project progress as well as some complications and slow decision making. Penn Austin is doing this job. It's a preservation job, and we've tried to approach this very sensitively. If you recall, the primary comments in the first meeting in terms of the second floor skylight was a preferable, sorry, the second skylight was a preferable a proposal to having third floor dormers.
Uh-huh.
And they actually in the midst of COVID, then they were doing interior, they had a permit to do interior work.
Mhm.
They installed that based on, I think it was like the vast majority of you guys were said they would be fine with that in that scenario. You also asked us to shift the deck away from the street, which is what we did, and that opened up a nice window on the basement side. So let me just go elevation by elevation, then I guess to make sure you got everything covered. If you look at page A2.1, on the north elevation, if you look at the existing the entrance deck was longer. What we found through historic photos was that in fact it was actually shorter originally, and proof of that is in the putting in that you can see the window that was revealed once we pulled that back. So that's what we did. We brought it back to its more historic origins on the north elevation, re-exposing that bottom C window on the right. Of course, all of the foundation work has been carefully redone. and made watertight all around. Penn worked on that throughout last winter. That was their primary kind of repair focus. On the west elevation, we are proposing again, we shifted the deck significantly away from the road, which was what everyone wanted. That in combination with, you said pull it away from the road and give us a significant buffer that we can rely upon. So I've also included in today's presentation a landscape site plan. The landscape's already been installed, and along Pine Street, we have an evergreen arborvitae screen planting that runs in its entirety all the way down the street. They've kept three maples, three of the big beautiful maples, and then they're planting it as shown with plantings on the far right corner and the hornbush hedgerows. There's kind of peculiar looking trees all along that back fence. And then as far as the actual deck goes, the goal was to surround the deck with some buffer as well, which they're proposing is herb cuttings, which will give some mediation to any sort of glimpses you might get. But I think you can see from the proposed landscape plan that we were responding specifically to your suggestions there. If we go back to the A2.1 west elevation, yeah, the reason they wanted to create a shallower pitch roof is to get, this is a sunroom. We're trying to get sunlight deeper into the building, because it is actually quite dark as you move back into the building. And so to lift up the header there and flatten out the roof, gives us an allowance to get the windows up to a little bit higher up. Also, the house right next door towards the town has a 2-pitch or less roof, and then the owners point to that.
There's hundreds and hundreds of houses in the OHD that have 2-pitch roofs on them. Just saying.
So that's what we did. We were looking at our next door neighbor. We were trying to approach this sunroom, respond to your comments. The window on the west elevation, which we're calling out as an H window, is a duplicate of the window just on the other wall there, on the elbow wall. So that would be on the next page. And we just thought that'd be nice to sort of mirror that.
Luke, you're so thorough. I'm ready to go.
Yeah, me too. Thanks, Abby. You want to go?
Yeah, very sensitively done. My only concern is the depth of the deck in the back. What is the depth of that deck now?
Well, back again, it was Steve who actually said he said you might increase what you did before by pushing it into the garden more if you take it away from the street. So right now it is a 12-foot deep deck.
Okay, all right. I'm fine with all the changes then. I couldn't tell from just looking at it on the 12 is fine for me. I thought it was like 20. So.
Oh, no.
I'm fine with all the changes. Thank you.
Hey, Abby, thank you. How about you, Stephen?
Yeah, nothing to add. Thank you. Appreciate the changes, in particular pulling the deck away from the street, Pine Street.
Very nice.
Here. Okay, I think we have liftoff, folks. Can I have a motion?
Motion approved is submitted.
Mr. Chair, if I'm.
Yes.
I just had a question about the issue of having 2 skylights on the same roof plane.
No, I'm fine with that.
Am I incorrect on that?
Yeah,
That's
the
the
whole
shallow roof? Oh, that one.
No, the rationale, as Luke said, is rather than put a dormer on that roof, the better alternative would be to put a skylight. So I'm okay with that.
And it's wood clad, right?
Yeah, has to be the OHD.
Well, the other thing is the requirement, I mean, just, I want to be clear because I checked this in the guidebook because I was a little uncertain myself. The requirement is that there not be, in old historic, there not be any on the front of the building and there not be more than one. But on the rear, the only requirement is that it would be in the upper third, which this is pretty much, these are pretty much in the upper third-ish. And they're low profile and certainly less intrusive than a dormer. So just to have said.
Yeah, yeah.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Thank you, Stephen.
Thanks. Okay, so was there a motion made? I forget.
I think Steve was making one.
Oh, okay.
A motion to approve is submitted.
Okay, thanks, Stephen. On the motion, Abby,
Aye.
Stephen,
All right.
and on that motion. Okay, so let's see.
Okay, thank you very much.
Yeah, thanks, Luke.
Thanks, Luke.
I don't know whether Lisa's on. I need to get going, so
What do
sorry
you want?
to those of you that need me on your board, but I need to get out to a meeting. So Diane, can you
Yep.
take it from here?
I'll take over and we'll just hold that for representation to give her a chance to get here.
She may be on for all I know. I don't know. Okay, bye, everyone, and thanks a lot. Sorry I have to cut
Thanks,
out.
Ray.
Bye.
Okay, is Lisa here? No, we don't know. Hello?
Stand by, Mr. Chair.
I don't see her.
We can go to
Okay.
the next one.
Motion to hold for
We
representation.
just need a, thank you, Steve. Let's try and do it. Okay. Val, to hold. Valerie,
You're muted. You're still muted. We see your hand signals.
Aye.
thank you.
Sorry.
Abby,
Aye.
Steve,
All right.
and me, aye. So that makes all of us. So the next one is with Sarah Alger. It's 3 Westchester Street, a driveway and apron.
And I'm recused from this one.
Yes, you are. We've got me, Abby, and Stephen. And you are recused and we have no alternates. So we're down to 3 Westchester.
That would be Jeff Blackwell as chair, and I don't see him here.
I'm going to,
Oh, you-
I don't know how to do this, but it's Edward Toole. I'm going to take Jeff's place.
Okay.
Okay, Ed. You want to tell us what's happening?
Yeah, it's application for a curb cut was made. There are a number of revisions throughout the process. And I think the final iteration was changing the running bond to be perpendicular to the road. And I thought that was the final piece that had to be done. Ollie, I think you have the latest plan from Jeff that shows the brick orientation.
Ed, it's Kathy, and this is what he sent
Oh,
the
I'm
day.
sorry.
This is the most recent. Do you see that? It has purple writing.
This shows a driveway going up the left-hand side of the house, right?
Right.
With a stone patio at the end. And what
Yeah.
were you asked to do, or what was Jeff asked to do last time?
I think what was asked was, you can see that the sidewalk brick are, I guess, well, I guess.
Madam Chair, I could kind of elaborate. This
Thank
plan
you.
came in after HSAB. Sorry, Ed. I appreciate it. This plan came in by Jeff after HSAB met, and I actually appreciated this. One of the comments that HSAB had on this past Monday was to have the running bond go with the width. So basically having it the way it's shown, which I believe is in perpendicular to the existing sidewalk along Westchester Street. Questions on the drain channel is unusual for the old historic district. I don't know if something that I know Jeff's not here today, but he could address on that. I understand obviously that's from a stormwater perspective, which is shown where the proposed driveway and the sidewalk meets. The plan should indicate what happens to the picket fence in the photos. And if you're familiar with this part of the old section of Westchester Street, there is a picket fence that's kind of in the middle of their property along the front of the structure. It almost looks like it's in no man's land. So there's questions on where that is, and it's not shown on the proposed plans, as well as about the existing fence that is where the proposed driveway is going to be. Comment about reusing the existing stones that are upon the property. There's quite a few retaining walls. My understanding is that the intention is to retain the existing stone that's on site to be utilized, because there is I guess a drop in grade, which is not shown on here, but and then the gravel veil instead of a drainage trout was a comment or a question. So those are the comments based on the previous revisions. Thank you, Madam.
And Holly, what about the removal of granite curbing and to take it to the DPW? That's part of this whole thing?
So the previous, first, I think, plan that I saw, one of the comments that I provided to Jeff after HSAB and myself reviewed it, was that there was no change in grade of the existing granite curbing. It wasn't proposed to be flushed, if you will, and now it actually is. If you read his comment here, remove 13.7 of the granite curbing and deliver. So my understanding is it's going to be brought down so it's flush with the brick, and any residual will be brought to DPW. And that's obviously something consistent with what we like to see in the old historic district.
Right. All right. So let's begin and see how about Abby?
I'm just checking it out here. So you going down the driveway, that's all running bond. And so that's 9 by 20 brick. And then proposed brick parking further back is 7 by 17. And then the retaining wall in the way back. Is that correct, Ed?
Yeah, the retaining wall on the way back exists already.
Okay. And then you're back up to the stone patio level after at the top of the wall.
Correct.
Okay. Yeah, no, I don't have any problem with this. Thank you.
Okay, Steve.
Thanks, Madam Chair. Yeah, Ed, I appreciate the clarifications on the plan. I think for me, primarily, it was just getting that retaining wall on there. And I'm good with the idea of reusing the stone. I think, clearly they're going to be doing something similar. They're not getting rid of all the retainage. Running bond change is fine. And yeah, I mean, if there's some way to come up with a little bit more classic, something that looks old with respect to that drain basin around the front. It may not be, what isn't seen isn't a concern, but if there was some type of perhaps a flat metal grate that could go on there that would just, like a cast iron that would just rust out. It's just that the tread look is is just, it's a little odd, I think, or atypical for that particular location. Do we know what color that is? Is it a black, is it a metal finish that's just gonna rust out and disappear, or can it be painted, like a brickish color? Or I think camouflage might be a key.
Yeah, I'm sure we could, I don't know what was proposed right now, whether it's what color it was, frankly. So if you're amenable to that, to us painting it or using a different metal surface that would rust out, I don't think there's any problem with that.
Thanks.
Madam Chair,
Matt,
through you, I think there's a actual photograph of it in the packet. Sorry, Stephen.
oh, I didn't see that in the past. I saw the, you're talking about the schematic?
What's up on the screen right there?
Yeah, that's what I was looking at, the schematic. No, that's fine. Through Madam Chair. Thanks, Holly. Ed, I'm good with that. I think it would just be to camouflage it as best as possible.
Sure.
And we would approve it on as a test case, would be my feeling.
And I'm assuming we're keeping the vegetation on either side. Is that correct, Ed?
Well, to the extent that you can pull a car in and out, yes, but
No, yeah, I mean to separating from, see on the left there, you're probably going to keep all that vegetation.
below vegetation, absolutely. I mean, right on that picture, I mean, obviously that the tree has to go, unfortunately. One on the left, the lower left.
Has that tree been checked out as to being a town tree or not?
I mean, I would, no, not that I know of, but I don't think it's a
We
town.
checked on trees that are that close to the street as to whether they're town or not. You can get hold of the tree man at the DPW, and he will tell you.
Okay.
Okay, so what does anybody want to do?
I'll make a motion.
Does this include
Okay.
the landscaping? I mean, the vegetation landscaping? Or is it just the hardscaping?
It's just the hardscape. There's really no landscape there other than grass and stone. So,
Okay.
and the tree that Diane mentioned, but it's kind of a low slung, it looks like an oak, scrub oak. Make a motion to approve as submitted, subject to the drain channel cover being camouflaged as best as possible, approved on as a test case basis.
And the tree being checked?
Yeah, of course, the tree, please
the
give a call
DPW?
to the DPW. Any of the materials that are excess go to the DPW. And I just wasn't going to put that in the motion unless you feel it's necessary, Madam Chair.
It covers everything, so.
Ed
we
strikes
don't
me as a
hear
kind of a
that they
respectable
didn't.
guy, so I think we can.
Yeah.
Well,
All right, Abby
Aye.
And Steve
Aye.
and me, aye. So that is a full board. The next one, thank you, Ed.
thank
The
you.
next one is 3 White Whale Lane.
Good afternoon again. So I assume we're good on board. We have 4 instead of 5, correct?
Yes,
Okay. Are you guys all good?
we have
for me to
me,
go?
Abby, Oliver, and Welch. That is 4.
Okay, great. Do you want me to go?
Yeah, please.
Okay, great. So we have, as you can see, added 3 dormers to break up the roof line. I believe that was all of your requests. We've dropped the height of the second floor on one side to not have the same ridge height. We've widened all the windows on the front along with making them longer. We have added thicker trim on the front door. We have added freeze boards. We've changed the porch from a hip to a gable. Window in the rear bathroom changed to a larger window for more symmetry in the rear. And we've changed the rear 9-light door to a slider for consistency. We've lined up the windows to be even on the left and the right elevation, which I forget what he always refers left and right. I have to look at the directionals on that. And I am open to your comments. And there are some site photos for
Thank you.
reference. So we added the windows on the gable end too. And then I
And what is
did
this?
a bunch of photos last time. I don't know if those are available, if you need them.
On your, how far back is the right-hand building from the left-hand building? Does it
I
drop
think
it
you were-
3 feet?
I think we were just there. If you could go down, Holly, sorry.
It's actually Kathy.
Where
Oh,
am I?
sorry, Kathy.
No, where am I going?
To the foundation plan, I think it was. You were 2 pages or 3 pages down. I think we can see the jog. Yeah, there's a dimension if you could zoom in on the right. Bottom right corner.
I just can't see it.
I
It's
can't
so
see it either.
small
I
on
don't.
my
I think
iPad.
Kathy's working on that. It looks like 3 feet 4 inches. Is that right?
No, it's 5 feet.
5 feet. I can't see so far either. 5
Okay,
feet.
just so we know, because
Yep.
that was one of the things we
Diane, I
asked.
can go.
I beg pardon?
Appreciate the changes.
You like the changes? Okay,
Yes, thank you.
so that, Stephen,
Thanks, Madam Chair. Yeah, I think at least two-dimensionally the changes are good. Tori, I hate to bring this up, but I'm just concerned, given the location, how this addresses the street, and more so the fact that on the front elevation, the left side, as you're facing it, is
Mhm.
forward of really the right side, which if you read it, is the front door is further back, and that left side structure is just so large.
Yep.
To me, it would be that you would reverse it. You would keep, keep the fenestration, but put the jog so that the left side jogged back. But I don't think you can do that on that site.
Oh, I believe we can actually. The greater width of the site is on that back area. So I'm sure that would be no problem if that ends up being the only suggestion that we could do through staff.
Okay, thanks. Because I think that would help to, although the size, I still have a concern about the relative sizes. I think,
Yep.
and that the left side is not secondary. The fact that it is set back, I think would help. And I still think that your porch would be successft. So
I agree with you.
the only thing I might add is that it might be helpful to add a set of posts or 2 posts for that porch. Maybe
right?
not. I see what you're doing there. I'm going to retract that statement.
Okay.
Thank you, Madam Chair.
all right, thank you. Val,
I appreciate the changes as well.
all righty, said, can I get a motion, please?
Make a motion to approve through staff, subject to the left side mass being the switch to be, how do I want to say that? Val?
The left side to be pushed back and the right side to be pulled forward the same distance they are now, just opposite.
Reversed.
Okay, so reverse the planar orientation of the left and the right masses.
Great.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
Thank you.
that's
Sorry,
right.
I just was having a brain seizure there.
Okay,
I do. Thank you, guys.
Abby,
Aye.
Val,
Aye.
Stephen,
Aye.
and I am also aye.
Thank
Aye,
you.
aye. But what time is it?
Madam Chair, you have 15 minutes and we have a hard stop.
Okay. Great.
Is
Well, let's,
Lisa back?
the next one. 2 Highland Avenue. She's represents herself.
Yes, I'm here.
Okay. Would you like to, this is to move off the main house. So have we come to tell me what you are proposing?
All right, is that addressed to me, Madam Chair?
I think so.
That's
Okay.
addressed to
I
you.
had,
Yes.
I had a letter, I had submitted a letter to the board, to hear it this, that's not the right one. There's the HDC board one. I don't know if it's Kathy or Holly.
They were both sent to the HDC.
I can read it if you'd like. I have a copy of it here and then I have some other comments.
Yes.
Excuse me?
Yes.
Okay. Yes, let's go on.
Maybe you can't hear Diane. She
Okay,
said,
am I reading it, did you say?
yeah.
Okay, well, I have one,
Yes,
I might
please
just ask
do.
one question before I read the letter, Madam Chair. Am I allowed to ask for this to be carried over to the full board or not?
Yes, you are.
Ah,
You
Chairwoman.
can, as
Madam Chair, just to
Yes.
speed things along, could we know who has not read this letter? Because I've read the letter and all the letters, and I was wondering if, just to save time.
Yeah, that's fine. I didn't know if everyone had seen it. There were 2 letters, one to HSAB, one to the HDC with slightly different comments.
I concur with
Well-
Abby's comments.
I have read both letters, and I'm sure
Okay, very
Val
good.
has.
I have
May I just make a few opening comments and then open it up to you guys, because I don't have anything really, it's kind of a black and white issue, I guess. May I read 3 paragraphs quickly?
Could I make a really quick interjection here? That if you want a full
Yep.
board, if you want Ray back on the board, you better not open it tonight.
Okay, I would prefer if we can do that.
Just FYI, because if you open it and you start making comments and such, then he would have to mull back in, but he would not be sitting. Because you have Carrie and Stephen eligible to sit on this now.
Okay,
You
I
want
would-
Rick on it, just FYI.
So
thank you,
what do you want
Terry, for
to
that
do?
point of clarification.
so that would be my preference.
Motion to hold
What is
for
that?
representation.
Or motion to hold for a full board?
Yeah, well, yeah, sorry. Good call, Madam Chair.
Okay. All righty. Thank you.
Aye.
Aye.
Abby,
Aye.
aye. Stephen,
Aye.
all right, that's a full, the sitting board is in agreement to hold it for a full board. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Have we got enough? Okay,
Madam
have we
Chair?
got enough to do Slowik solar panels?
Madam Chair, Karen Alance has requested to be heard on Tuesday because she is on the ferry right now and cannot represent her applications.
Okay, so she's both those. I need a motion quick to hold 9 and 10. for
Motion
Tuesday.
to hold 9 and 10, Madam Chair.
Thank you. Abby,
Aye.
Stephen,
Aye.
okay. The last one we'll probably be able to get in is 4 East Lincoln move on site and altar. That is Val, Abby, and Stephen and me.
I believe I saw somebody from Mark's office here. Is it Doug Mills there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay.
Hopefully you can hear me.
Yeah.
Madam Chair,
Okay,
if I
do you
could
want-
read NHSAB's comments.
So what please do, Holly, or is it?
Okay,
Kathy?
thank you.
Holly.
Yep. HSAB reviewed this past Monday, the 30th. The garage door lights or horizontal should be vertical. The deck railing is too busy, preferred shingled. And the current proposal is a much improvement from the previous submittal. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you. Thank you. Okay, Jeff, Doug, give us what's on now.
Okay, so the previous application or the previous submittal had a much larger deck on the front, so we reduced that. We set it into a little pent roof. That's on the north elevation. We did change up the door type. The client thought the plain vertical V groove was a little boring, so we did show a different door type. We can change the glass lights if that's something that you feel strongly about. We also eliminated one of the windows from the north elevation just so it didn't look so crowded. So I think that kind of balances it out a little better than what it was before. We took off a couple windows on the south elevation that just seemed extraneous since there's really nothing happening there functionally, so it didn't need those windows. And we also took off the A window that we're proposing on the east elevation. And I think that just kind of simplifies things a little bit too. So hopefully these are revisions you can get behind.
Okay, so let's begin with Stephen.
Yeah, I'm good with it. No concerns.
Okay, does that include the panes of glass on the garage doors, changing them or leaving them alone?
Changing them.
Okay.
Sorry, I didn't see this in the packet, so I didn't preview it. So I'm used to seeing on the big screen and zooming in and whatnot. So I'm a little discombobulated.
Yeah, that's all right. It's just that HACCP mentioned that they were square and not horizontal.
Yeah, I mean, if
okay.
the proportions could be made, but they're going to be restricted by the door panel because it's not right. This is an overhead door, I presume.
Right.
Yeah. So
I mean, we could easily take out the horizontal muttons so that it's just
Yeah, that's what I was going to
4 lights wide instead of 2 lights high. We can just do that.
Is good.
Okay, that sounds good. Okay, Abby, why don't you continue?
Yeah, I'm fine with all of this, and I just think the windows in the garage are too small and fussy and square and horizontal. I would change those to a simpler version of, an old-fashioned window in a garage door. I think
Okay,
it might
and do you
be
have any thoughts?
3 or 4 windows. Plain.
Do you have any thoughts of the deck above the garage doors?
No,
Leave it
I have
in your-
no thoughts on it. It's fine.
Okay. Okay. Val.
I agree with what's been said, Madam Chair. If he just eliminates the horizontal rail in the windows in the garage door, it's fine.
Okay. May I have a motion to that effect, please?
So moved.
All right. Abby.
Don't move. I think you said don't move.
He
So
said
moved.
so.
Oh.
Thank you. Abby,
Aye.
say yes.
Yes.
All right. Val,
Aye.
Stephen,
Aye on the motion, and I just want to correct myself, Madam Chair. I apologize. I don't want to besmirch the staff. 4 East Lincoln is in the packet. I, for some reason, had 20 in my mind. So in any event, I'm an aye.
all right.
Madam Chair,
All
is
right.
this through staff?
So that,
Yes, through staff.
Okay. Thank you.
yes. Okay. And do we,
I think that's our last one.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, we only have 5
the
minutes.
other one, right, the other one is a new dwelling
No way.
and a
I gotta finish
garage
my resume.
Oh,
and another
I didn't know that was
pool.
part of the deal.
So do we have any, Kathy, do we have any notes or any, that we have to approve, any minutes?
No, not this meeting.
Okay. So everything else looks like it can wait. Sometime I would like to do that discussion of 6 Fair Street before it falls down into the garden. So let's call it. Somebody want to make a motion?
Motion to adjourn.
All righty. Val,
Aye.
Stephen,
All right.
Abby,
Aye.
and me is I. So that is all.
And Carrie.
And
Aye.
Thanks,
I-
everybody.
I am impressed by your clean shaven face, Mr. Welch.
I was glad you weren't. Forget it. I'm not going to say that because it's not going to come out the way I wanted it to. Thanks. Thank you. Goodbye, everybody.
Goodbye.
Bye.
Goodbye. Goodbye. Call the meeting. Goodbye. There.
You may pay as little as $25 for a 1-month or 3-month prescription. Ask your healthcare provider today about once-weekly Ozempic. Take a look at our new Medicare Advantage benefits for 2021. It's time for Medicare open enrollment, and we have new benefits at Blue Cross Blue Shield of Massachusetts. Call now and we'll help you connect the dots for a plan that fits your life, like our $0 premium Medicare Advantage HMO and PPO plans. Give us a call for your free Medicare guidebook and we'll go over coverage options. Our $0 HMO and PPO plans come with new benefits, like $0 copays on select generic drugs, $0 copays on routine dental, vision, and hearing visits, and even new eye and hearing aid benefits. And the benefits don't stop there. These plans also come with our new telehealth benefit, up to a $400 fitness and weight loss benefit, and our 24/7 nurse line. With one of the largest selections of Medicare plans in the state and a broad network of doctors, specialists, and hospitals, we've got a plan for you. Let us help you connect the dots. So don't miss out on these new benefits. Call now to learn more and receive your free Medicare guidebook. Before that case of the doctor, the plaintiff said she helped her brother and find the deed, let him move in with her, and guess what? He brought some guests. Bed bugs. Yuck. And the defendant says that his sister could have gotten bed bugs anywhere since she lived in a building with other